you get the response for her?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will ask that get 2 weeks to respond, but considering the sensitivity of the matter, considering there's a Kenya who is missing, allow me to do an interim response next week, Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, as we wait for a comprehensive response in 2 weeks' time.
Okay. Yes, what's your point of order?
Madam Chair, we don't trust the Honorable Tongoyo, the Chair of Administration. Because, Madam Chair, the last time before we went for a recess, I also asked a similar statement in this house, and it is unanswered, Honorable Chair, about also a missing person by the name Bethuel Chesir, who was also abducted around that time of July 7. And by then, the Honorable Chair Tongoyo promised to give an interim statement within 2 days. I remember it was on Tuesday. And now it's almost 2 months. So how can we trust Tongoyo to give a satisfactory answer to the Honorable Women for Isholo when he has not even responded my statement, Honorable Chair, Speaker?
Do you have anything to say, Honorable Tongoyo?
Honorable Speaker, I think the member actually said this not in good faith. We're all in this house, and we know, of course, as per our standing orders, how the statements are processed. A member asked the chairman, of course, has to relate the same to the ministry, and then until the ministry definitely relying on the officers on the ground can only able to give a response once the officers on the ground give the response too. And Madam Speaker, as much as we really understand the sensitivity of such issues, especially touching on the life of Kenyans who for some reason go missing or abducted, allegedly abducted.
Honorable Tongoyo, I think you can just give assurance to Honorable Kangogo that you're going to follow it up.
Madam Speaker, I just want to give...
don't make an explanation on behalf of the ministry. You're not holding brief.
No, I'm just saying that we know that at times investigations are complex.
Yes.
You may not expressively able to give extreme timeline, but I want just to assure the member that I will do anything possible to follow up with the ministry to make sure that the response is processed and given to this house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the assurance he needed. Honorable members, before we proceed, allow me to recognize the following schools who are seated in the public gallery. Christ the King Secondary School from Tarbo constituency, Wasingishu County. And then Maxwell Preparatory School, Secondary School from Dagoretti North constituency, Nairobi County. And lastly, we have Cardinal Otunga High School from Kitutu Churches South constituency, Kisii County. And on behalf of the entire House, I would like to give the opportunity to Honorable Janet Sctnews, member for Tarbo, to welcome them on our behalf.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to recognize the 3 schools that are seated at the gallery. My school is Christ the King Sambut from Tarbo constituency, and also Maxwell and Cardinal Otunga. We want to welcome you to this house. This is Parliament. This is where we legislate. And we want to encourage you to work very hard in school so that you can excel. This house has different professions. We have doctors, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have auditors, we have all sorts of professions in this house. So we encourage you that as you work hard, you may desire to come to this house another time. So we want to wish you very well at this time when you are going to exams, that we want to wish all the schools very well in your forthcoming exams, that you may excel and move on to the next level. And may God bless you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me that opportunity.
I'm informed that Yes, who was it? Oh, yes. You're the one who was who went to school in Kandolo Tunga. I'll give you a chance to say something before we proceed.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I also want to join Honorable Sctnews of Tarbo in welcoming the students. And in particular, I've learned that there is Cardinal Otunga High School here. And that was the school to which I went. And I'm quite excited to see that they still wear the uniform that we wore. And Madam Speaker, that was a very, very important school during our times. And I believe that it has lived through history as a school that mentors people, not just academically, but also in terms of religion and discipline. I want to urge the students of Cardinal Otunga who are here, although I've not been there for many years and I'll pay a visit soon, that the sky is no longer the limit. Please observe what goes on here. Some of you may end up being here one day, but there are very many other people from Cardinal Otunga who are working within the economy of Kenya, and I want to encourage you to be one of them in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have statements that had been requested from the Committee on Education. And I think the Vice Chair is not here yet. So I think we can reorder the order paper. I think there's one that's being requested that was being responded to by Administration and Internal Security. Is Honorable Tongoyo? I had seen him. It was requested by Honorable Mumina Bonaya. Is Honorable Tongoyo here? Maybe we can proceed to that one while we wait for the Vice Chair of Education. Yes, what was your point of order, Honorable Kisairo? What was your point of order? I heard you say point of order.
Yes, but if they are still responding, I would allow them to respond and then I bring my point of order. Thank you.
This is Isiolo County. Isiolo County. Yeah, Madam Speaker, in response to the statement being sought by the Member of Parliament, member of Isiolo County, Mumia Bonaya, regarding the disappearance of Mr. Abdullahi Bonza Abdi, I want to state as follows. And maybe for that, Madam Speaker, in particular, the member wanted to know the report on the circumstances leading to the disappearance of the said person. 2, whether Mr. Abdullahi Bonzo is being held in police custody, and if not, specific measures being undertaken by the National Police Service and other security agencies to address the increasing cases of abduction and enforced disappearance to ensure accountability for individuals and entities found culpable. I respond as follows, Madam Speaker. On the 10th May 2025, approximately 20:39 hours, a patrol team from Kina Police Station discovered an abducted abandoned motorcycle, registration number KMPG77D, tiger blue in color, lying beside Akina Kulamawe Road near Mutliti, Kwa Girowo Farm. And the officer took it to the Kina Police Station for safe custody, pending identification and verification by its rightful owner. The incident was booked vide OB number 10-10-05-2025 as an unclaimed motorcycle. On the 12th of May, at about 12:20 hours, Mrs. Madina Abdi, accompanied by the clan elder, Mr. Hassan Ibrahim, reported the disappearance of the 50-year-old husband, Mr. Abdullahi Bonzo Abdi, at Kina Police Station. She stated that the victim was last seen on the 9th May at approximately 08 hours when he left for the Kuku Manyata area while riding a motorcycle matching the description and the registration number of the one found abandoned by the officers on patrol. Mrs. Medina further reported that all attempts to contact her husband were futile as his mobile phone had been switched off. Investigation commenced and statements were recorded from key individuals, including Hassan Ndege, who stated that he was with Mr. Abdullahi Bonzo on the 9th at around 8:30 hours. He confirmed that Mr. Abdullahi Bonzo had picked him from his residence in Kina so they could travel to the Kulumawe, where the victim, a known herbalist, had been requested to attend to Fatuma Guyo's sick child. They returned to the Kina at approximately 20-30 hours and subsequently parted ways. Further insight was provided by Abdullahi Bonoya, a resident of the Kulamawe, who on the 13th May, while Gabatula Township received a call from the relative informed him of the Abdullahi Binzo's disappearance, accompanied by the 3 other family members. Mr. Abdurrahman visited the Kina police station to follow up on the matter. They positively identified the motorcycle as belonging to their missing relative. The group proceeded to the Kubisera, where the motorcycle has been recovered by the officers. And according to the information gathered from the resident of the Kubisera farm, on the night of the 10th May, at approximately 21:30 hours, 2 Probox vehicles were reportedly seen pursuing a motorcycle along the Kina Busira Road, but none of the residents ventured outside until the following morning when they discovered the motorcycle. A missing person signal was subsequently circulated via reference number SECP OL 2/1/18 volume 12 dated 13th May to support the ongoing investigation and facilitate and coordinate search. The search remained under active investigation with no breakthrough made so far. That is by the time of the signing of the question, this statement. On the second question, Honorable Chair, the National Police Service confirmed that Mr. Abdullahi Bonzo is not being held in any police station or custody across the country. Once his whereabouts are established, his family will be informed without delay. The National Police Service remains firmly committed to upholding the Constitution of Kenya and safeguarding the fundamental right and freedom of all citizens. The service reviews claim of enforced disappearance, which is not sanctioned operation of the state. Such acts are criminal in nature and perpetrated by individuals or organized criminal elements acting outside the law. To mitigate and respond to the instance of abduction and enhance public safety, the government has instituted the following proactive measures. A dedicated anti-abduction squad domiciled at the DCI headquarters was formed to swiftly address reported abduction cases. And I think that is very important to note, Madam Speaker. The police will conduct investigation to all reported cases, ensuring prompt arraignment in court of law of those found culpable to deter future criminal activities. Encourage members of the public to share information with the police through Fichua DCI toll-free number, which is publicly circulated 0800-722-203 and WhatsApp number of 0709-570-000 to ensure confidentiality in reporting of crime and safety of the whistleblowers, and of reactivating inactive community policing to ensure cooperative between the police and community, and fostering information sharing and early identification of security threats, and continuously strengthening both foot and mobile patrol to prevent crime while enforcing police visibility in key areas such as residential neighborhood, markets, and transport units. Signed by the CS Interior, CS Cabinet Secretary for Interior National Administration, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mumina. Do you want to respond? Do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, while I appreciate the response that has been given, I must state my dissatisfaction as it does not fully address the specific concerns raised. Honorable Speaker, Constitution under Article 153 3 expressly expressly requires cabinet secretaries to provide Parliament with full and satisfactory explanation on matters within their mandate. Likewise, Standing Order 44-2C demands that statements sought by members be factual, clear, and comprehensive. Honorable Speaker, the response before us falls short of these requirements, and in the interest of accountability to the House and to the people we represent, I urge that responsible ministry or agency be directed to furnish a more adequate reply. Honorable Speaker, on these matters specifically, because this is not the only abduction case I've reported here, asking for a statement, I think this morning I had another one, of which I know very well the answers will be the same. Next time the chair will be standing there to respond, he will still tell us that the government has no idea where these people are. So, Chair, for this case of Abdullahi Bonso, I'm sad to report to you that because of the depression that the family is undergoing, he recently lost a brother affected by this matter. As I stand here, the mother is sickly due to the depression that has been caused by this case. This Abdullahi Bonso is a husband of three women, father of over 13 children. He was the sole breadwinner. You can imagine the trauma. You can imagine the trouble the family is undergoing. And I want to say here, from the experience we've had in the past with the abduction cases, there's no case the government is not aware. They are fully involved, they are fully aware, and I honestly request the chair to give us factual, clear, and responsible answer on these cases of abduction. You can't always stand here and tell us you have no idea where these people are. Kindly, we are representing people who are expecting factual answers from us, and government should respond to that. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Owen, your point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the response coming from the Honorable Member of Parliament. And my advice, Honorable Speaker, is that sometimes statements, our chairs have no control, so much control on statements. And these statements are generated by cabinet secretaries and they come to this chamber and the chairs have to read as they are. And probably the responsibility that is alluded by my lady here may not be on the part of the chair. Chairman Tongoyo is a very good man and he means well. And he's one of the finest we've ever had as a chair of that committee, one of the finest. And when you have issues, when he has read a statement, probably you may need to dissociate him from the content of the statement. But my advice is that probably the honorable member needs to bring a question instead of requesting a statement. The good thing about a question is that now we can have the cabinet secretary here himself, and we can actually tell him the things that you have said to his face, so that he knows that he needs to be accountable to Parliament. Because sometimes when these responses are brought, probably it's just a junior officer who has done the response. And it comes here and we read it to you and you think this chairman is just playing ping pong and is not really helping you.
Okay,
but
thank you.
my advice, Honorable Chair, is that she brings a question and we will force the cabinet secretary to come to this house to actually respond to that. Thank you.
Honorable Tongoyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think really I'm much in support of what the leader of majority has said, because as I earlier said, we all know how, of course, the difference between the statement and the question. The questions, at least you have the opportunity and the privilege of interrogating the CS when he's physically present. Having said this, Madam Speaker, I will still also want to challenge the colleague member here and others that we also stop by making insinuation that any disappearance, any missing person is always must be known by the police officers. It's not true. It's not always true. As actually indicated and well stated in the statement, and Madam Speaker, that the National Police Service remain firmly committed to upholding the Constitution of Kenya and safeguarding the fundamental right of freedom of all citizens. to include never to do abduction. The National Police Service don't do abduction. Criminal does abductions, not the police officers. So, but having said this, if we can rechannel and reframe the statement to a question, maybe the CS will be able to have an opportunity to be more interrogated.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have the response to the question by Honorable Joyce Bensouda, member for Homa Bay County by Education Committee. Vice Chair, already you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I wish to respond to the statement by Honorable Joyce Bensouda on recruitment and deployment of teachers. The question was the procedure used in the recruitment and deployment of teachers to ensure that there's stability and continuity for both the teachers and students. So the key principle driving recruitment and deployment of teachers is that the Commission is an equal opportunity employer that abides by the tenets of the law espoused upon Constitution, TSC Act, and the Employment Act, the National Cohesion and the Integration Act, amongst other pieces of legislation. In accordance with Section 55 of our Code of Regulation, the Commission has developed teacher recruitment policy that governs the recruitment process to ensure that the process is carried out in a lawful manner and within the tenets of rights and freedoms as stipulated under the Constitution. The policy outlines the skills and competencies necessary for one to be recruited, and of course, a copy is available for your review. The policy is informed by the values and the principles of public service that include fair competition and merit, transparency and accountability, equity, fairness and impartiality, inclusiveness and non-discrimination. Accordingly, the recruitment procedure described below ensures that there is stability and continuity in the teaching sector. The recruitment procedure is as follows. One is the identification of vacancies. The process of teachers' recruitment begins with the identification of vacancies, which will be determined by existing vacancies arising out of teacher shortage or vacancies arising from the teacher once the teacher exists. Two, vacancy distribution. Vacancies are distributed proportionally to counties and sub-counties, ensuring that each region receives a fair share of opportunities based on needs and available positions. The third one is advertisements for recruitment. Once the vacancies have been identified and approved based on the available budget, the demand and supply of teachers and the existing establishments, the Commission advertises for the vacancies in the print media and through the Commission's website. During this period, the teachers apply online via the TSC recruitment portal. Document verification exercise. Once the application period is over, the Commission invites the shortlisted teachers for verification of academic certificates and other relevant documents at the sub-county offices or school level. Then we have the decentralized interview process. Pursuant to Article 6.3 of the Constitution, and with an aim to improve service delivery to the grassroots level, interviews are conducted at the sub-county or school level, enabling access and regional representation. This approach facilitates wider participation from the candidates across all counties and minimizes logistical and financial barriers for applicants from remote areas. Then we have standardized scoring criteria. A uniform interview scoring guide is applied across all regions. This standardization promotes consistency, fairness, and transparency, ensuring that candidates are evaluated solely on merit.
Then there's a consideration of ASAL and hard-to-reach staff areas. To ensure that schools in ASAL and hard-to-staff areas are well-staffed with teachers, where an advertisement does not attract applicants due to lack of subject combination, consideration is given to the next available applicant. Then on gender parity and inclusion of social groups, teachers' recruitment deliberately take into account gender balance, persons with disability, and the inclusion of marginalized groups. For instance, a total of 5% of all advertised vacancies are reserved for persons with disability and with an aim to foster regional balance and promote retention. The committee prioritizes the recruitment and deployment of teachers within their home counties during recruitment. The second question was requesting for a report on recruitment criteria of teachers based on school demographics, indicating whether the student population and school needs are a consideration. And I respond, the Commission has adopted a data-driven and equitable demand-driven formula to distribute vacancies across the country based on the subject area or class shortages against the school population. This method considers both student population and school needs as follows. 1, recruitment is often tailored to address shortages in specific subjects such as STEM, arts, technical, and special needs education. In primary schools, recruitment vacancies is determined on the total number of classes plus 1 teacher per school. 3, in secondary and junior school, staffing of the schools is based on the curriculum-based establishment, where the total number of teachers needed per school is based on the total number of learners, that is classes, against the required teachers per subject, that is per class. The
Honorable
third,
Vice Chair,
yes,
I think you finished with the question of Honorable Bensouda.
no, there were 3. There's the
No,
third one.
no, Honorable Bensouda's request for a statement was only on recruitment and deployment of teachers in schools across the country.
There's one on measures in place to ensure that teachers are absorbed while in their prime age in order to maximize on their long-term teacher expertise.
Was that by you?
Yes, by Bensouda.
Was it by Honorable Bensouda? Okay, because we are not going to cover the others of Honorable Oundo and Honorable El Mengit because they're not present.
So
we
I'm just doing the last one for Bensouda.
Okay,
Thank you. On that question, as discussed above, the Commission recruits registered teachers in accordance with the recruitment guidelines issued from time to time. The available vacancies are advertised based on the demand for and supply of teachers as per the existing establishment and budgetary provisions. The second one is further, the recruitment process is guided by the principle of competition and merit, integrity, transparency and accountability, equity, fairness, impartiality, inclusiveness, and non-discrimination. In the spirit of equity and fairness, the Commission distributes recruitment vacancies equally among the 47 counties. The recruitment scorecard is developed in an inclusive manner to consider items such as professional qualifications, age, length of stay since qualification as a teacher, and CBC upgrade. The last one is to this end, the Commission ensures that it considers both teachers who graduated in the early years and have applied for recruitment and their counterparts who recently graduated. Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Bensouda, would you like to respond to that?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to provide for response on the questions which I asked, which have been tackled by the Committee of Education. Honorable Speaker, allow me to submit my apologies for yesterday not having been in Parliament at the time that I was called because I went to attend an urgent matter, and I thought the matter was coming way far beyond that time. However, Honorable Speaker, I went through the response given by the Education Committee on my concerns regarding the recruitment of teachers, the policies existing, and ensuring that the teachers who are employed, they are employed at an age bracket that they are energetic enough to deliver the services that is expected by them. Honorable Speaker, I would like to note that a lot of theoretical framework which are relevant do exist. My worry is the practical implementation on what is theoretically documented by the Ministry of Education and the Teachers Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, I say that because practically when you do any impromptu visit into our schools, whether rural, secondary, JSS, and the like, we have serious shortage of the time of recruitment and the time that the schools lastly receive teachers in their school. Honorable Speaker, it is also a fact that there are some teachers delivering under BOG who have served in those institutions for more than 10 years. Honorable Speaker, the issue of gender balance on recruitment issues also, Lord, I want to say that in some cases it has been taken care of. The smart theoretical framework that we have, Honorable Speaker, if it is really followed, I think we'll be having mitigating measures on how teachers are recruited. I was informed by the age limit. I know of a teacher who comes from Karachuonyo, is almost retiring. It is a concern that has been in this house, the age limit that the teachers are recruited. I'm wondering at what point this teacher would be recruited. Having made several attempts, Honorable Speaker, to appear for interviews, makes application and the like. On that regard, Honorable Speaker, I would want to submit that I was fully not satisfied with how they have demystified the policy guideline on how recruitment reports are done and balancing. This informs even the proximity of schools between one school to the other, informs also lack of care of the population of the students vis-a-vis the ratio of teachers who are supposed to serve them. Honorable Speaker, I do request the committee to go back and review with the Teacher Service Commission and give supporting data of evidence on the last 10 years and the way forward that they have, so that we don't have problems of disparity, employment, and having retirees in one school being retired. After 1 year, another head teacher comes. 1 year retired, there is lack of continuity. I have evidence of this, and Honorable Speaker, we need supportive evidence, and Education Committee must go round and establish, particularly in the rural areas. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. Before we proceed, allow me to recognize the presence of students who are seated in the speakers gallery from the Kenya Medical Training College Karuri campus, from Kiambaa constituency, Kiambu County. On behalf of the substantive speaker and the rest of the House, we welcome you to the presence of Parliament. Thank you. What's your point of order? Member for Kitutu Masaba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I have two issues. The first one is I had sought for a statement of delayed remittance for SHA for a child, Agnes Nyanchoka, who was stuck in India for some days. Honorable Speaker, I have not gotten that response, despite me having been promised that response was to come within 1 week. This has led that the family had to go
Honorable
looking
member,
for loans.
why don't we, I thought you were following up on the question of on the statement of Honorable Bensouda.
No, I
So
thought
why don't we
Bensouda
let
was
us
done.
finish that? I only
All
let
right.
you on that before you can,
Okay.
can give you an opportunity. Yes, Vice Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have noted the concerns of Bensouda, on the shortcomings, on the response. But for her comfort, I wish to report here that the Education Committee has already requested for the data of all these schools, one, on all the teachers who are over 45 years. We want to see how many they are so that we can commit a budget in the next budget cycle, if it is possible. Two, TSC has also accepted, because we have discussed this matter, and anybody who is even 59 can be recruited. Doesn't mean that they will not be recruited. They will be recruited even at 59. And I know that it is not the right thing to do, but we are there and we have agreed that they recruit even if you're 58 or 59. For the rest of the data that you have requested, we have noted, and in the next meeting, we should be able to communicate and bring you back to the committee for discussion. Thank you.
I think, Vice Chairperson, the concern that seems to come out clearly is that the cutoff recruitment age is 45. Many of them have approached 45. There is also the concern that there are people who graduated 2 years ago and have been recruited, and somebody who got their TSC number 15 years ago has not been recruited. I think that isn't that clear, Honorable Bensouda? So I think it's better that a specific question is asked on that particular issue. Okay, thank you.
Chair, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Nyenze.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, but I'm not Nyense, I'm Susan Kiamba from Makueni. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to also put my word in the statement that was brought by Bensouda and others and responded by the committee. While I appreciate a lot of input they are put forth, and they seem to have actually given it a real thinking and critical thinking in the answers they have given for all the questions, I really wish they would actually go back on an issue that, Speaker, you have highlighted. In my constituency, I have 10 women. I can give you their numbers and their TSC numbers, who are now above 48. And they have applied and even given me the number to push for them. And I've pushed and I can't push any further. These are mothers who went for training. They have over 15 years trained and they have not been employed. I think the committee should be intentional. The committee should be intentional and ensure that, because teaching is a very specialized training. And when somebody misses the employment, it means that training goes to the West and this country actually loses on that particular person. I would urge the committee in collaboration with the TSC to be very clear. There is no need for a teacher to retire before he or she has worked. I think it's unfair to this country because that is an investment that this country has made on that particular individual. And I think it is very evident, you don't even need to go far. There are people who have graduated 2 years, 1 year, and they are already employed. That disparity is actually worrying. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, even when you look at regions, you realize some regions have a lot of teachers, while other regions do not have teachers. I think we need an analysis, Honorable Chair of the committee. We need analysis to show us where is the gap, so that when employment opportunities come, we can have affirmative action. There is no need of already sharing the newly recruited teachers as if in every country we are at the same level. We are not at the same level. I think this is a reality that the committee should take in consideration. It's important that we base the employment and distribution on already existing gaps. There are some schools where you find that in a primary school, the BOM, the PTA are paying for 4 teachers. They have only 2 or 3 employed by the TSC. That is completely unfair because, Honorable Speaker, these are also taxpayers of this particular country, and that's actually hidden in marginalization. I think the committee needs to give us clear data based on every constituency to see actually where the disparity is, so that when we employ, we also have intentionally addressed the inequalities. Honorable Speaker, I looked at the marking scheme of the interviews. And I know that it is demand driven, but if you look at the bias towards science subject, the social teachers are completely marginalized because that scheme already gives the other sectors 40 marks ahead of anybody. If you are given 40 marks ahead of the other people, of course you will actually fail. And unless as a government we develop a strategy of where else we are observing the social science teachers, then I think it's unfair to look like it is not our responsibility in this particular country to take care of the trained teachers. If the teachers cannot actually fit in school, then we should create other avenues where the teachers should be employed, and especially those who have done social sciences. 40 marks ahead is completely throwing them out of the market. And I think it's not fair for any country to do that because all those are our people. Honorable Speaker, I think also another thing to check is the issue of the promotion with the teachers. I think this is also having a very big gap. You realize like in most areas, people are qualified, but they never get promoted. While in other areas, you get the people promoted. I think we need to have a resemblance of equity in this particular country. Because I don't think in this country we have areas where people have not been educated. The issue of saying this area do not have people educated is a thing of the past. Even in Turkana now, we have enough teachers to employ. I think it's important that the spirit of equality, equity, actually prevails in the sector of education. Otherwise, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. And this is a sector we cannot ignore, Honorable Speaker. It is what we wake up every day. Every day we wake up on issues and education. And I hope the committee gives it the necessary focus. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Zamzam, member for Mombasa.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze pia kuweza kumuunga mkono Mheshimiwa Bensouda kwa kuleta swala hili ndani ya bunge. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni dhahiri walimu wengi ambao wamesomea na wamesha graduate, wamepata vibali vyao miaka mingi sana, wamekaa bila kupata kazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati wenzao wa nyuma, wadogo zao wamekuja nyuma na wamepata nafasi ya kufanya kazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, na Mheshimiwa Spika, sio nafasi ya kazi tu, hata wale ambao wako kazini. Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati mwingine unapata mwalimu amekaa miaka 14, miaka 15, miaka 18, hata promotion pia hajapewa. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo hali ya walimu katika taifa hili pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni ya kusikitisha kwa sababu hawapati ile haki sawa. Na ikiwa itatokea hata masala ya promotion, Mheshimiwa Spika, waangalie wale ambao wamefanya kazi yao vizuri na wamekaa muda mrefu, waweze pia wao kupewa promotion. Kama kuna mwalimu ambaye sasa ni deputy principal wa pale Shanzu Teachers College, amekaa miaka 15, Mheshimiwa Spika, yuko katika ile nafasi, wakati wenzake wanapewa promotion, yeye ameachwa pale na anafanya kazi nzuri. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nataka kusema hizi nafasi za kazi zikitokea, ziwe zinaangaliwa wale ambao waliweza kugraduate mapema, kwa sababu mtu, hata kama nimesikia Mheshimiwa katika kamati hii ambayo inashughulika na mambo ya walimu ya education, anasema kuwa hata wakiwa miaka 56 ama 59 watapewa kazi. Tusiweze kusisitiza mambo kama hayo, tuweze kutoa msukumo kuwa wakati bado wako katika ile hali yao ambayo ni active, waweze kupewa hizi nafasi za kazi na wao wapate matunda ya kuona kuwa masomo yao hayakuenda bure. Mheshimiwa Spika, na Mheshimiwa Spika, imekuwa ada katika taifa hili, na mimi niweze kusema hata kuna watu ambao wamepewa position katika sekta tofauti ambao pengine walikuwa ni political rejects na mambo kama haya, na kuna watu ambao ni professionals ambao wangeweza kupewa nafasi hizi wakafanya kazi nzuri. Sasa unapata wale ambao walianguka pengine kiti cha siasa, ameenda amewekwa sehemu, badala ya kufanya kazi vizuri, anakuwa sasa yeye ndo anaweka tumbo lake mbele, kwa sababu hata ile nafasi amepewa pengine si professional katika nafasi hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nasema ikiwa Kenya tunataka kuipeleka mbele, sawa, tuwapatie wale ambao ni professionals katika sekta tofauti tofauti waweze kuongoza, ndio waweze kusaidia rais hata kupeleka Kenya mbele. Lakini kwa walimu nasisitiza walimu wapewe nafasi sawa, ikiwa nafasi zinatokea wale walio graduate mapema wapewe hizo nafasi mapema, wale ambao wanafuatia waje kwa nyuma, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na ikitokea pia promotion, walimu waangaliwe, mtu ameserve ameimba na watoto darasani, Mheshimiwa Spika, amehakikisha mtoto ameshika kalamu mpaka amejua kuandika, amehakikisha mwanafunzi amepata masomo na amekuwa ni hata unapata yule mwanafunzi ambaye alimsomesha ameenda amepata kazi kubwa mbele yake, lakini yule mwalimu bado yuko katika ile position ambayo mwanafunzi alimwacha hapo. Mheshimiwa Spika, inakuwa si haki kwa walimu waweze kuangaliwa maslahi yao promotion ikitokea, na si hao tu, hata polisi pia tunaona pia wengi pia wanalalamika, Mheshimiwa Spika, amekaa sehemu moja na hajapata hata ile promotion. Kwa hiyo mimi namsupport dadangu Bensouda kuwa walimu wapewe nafasi kufuatana na vile walivyo graduate kutoka katika masomo yao. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Hakuna order, wewe nyamaza. There is no order.
Thank you. That's a very interesting speech from the Honorable Zamzam. Yes, I want to come to my point of order. Honorable Speaker, you see, I want to say that there are no political rejects. And people who lose seats in Parliament are also professionals. Some of these people that lose seats here are professionals, Honorable Speaker. So if you say that they should not be given those positions, there are teachers here, there are engineers here, there are doctors here, and when they lose seats, they have an opportunity to serve the country in another capacity, Honorable Speaker, and therefore they cannot be political rejects, and they should not be denied an opportunity to be appointed in another position, including Honorable Zamzam. One day when you are not the women rep of Mombasa, the president will graciously say, you are good in social this, and we appoint you to this.
Honorable Owen, you have made your point, you're repeating yourself now. Let us proceed. Honorable Kibet Kimingoy, are you speaking on the same topic? Are you speaking on the same topic? No. Okay, then let's go to Honorable Marianne Kaitang, member for Aldai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the statement by Honorable Bensouda on the teacher disparity. And one thing, Honorable Speaker, is that Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya talks about issues about human dignity, equity. It talks about social justice, inclusiveness, and equality, and all the issues with regards to human rights. And when you look at the teacher disparity and distribution across this country, the employment of these teachers, you find that that part of the Constitution is actually being, is not being adhered to by those who recruit and those who distribute these teachers across the various schools in this country. I'll give you an example, Honorable Speaker. In the schools in my constituency, especially in the escarpment, because of the very harsh terrain of those particular areas, you find that teachers are rarely posted in those schools, and you'll find even a school having only one TSC teacher against a population of about 300 students. And what parents are left to do is to dig into their pockets and pay BOM teachers to be able to get their learners so their children get education. That is being inequality, because the Kenya government pays for all teachers. And if my school, for example, that has one TSC teacher is being denied access to education and parents have to cough into their pockets, it means it's double jeopardy for these parents. They'll have been taxed, and at the same time, they have to go into their pockets to get money to go and pay for teachers who will then teach these children. Again, these teachers who are being hired on BOM, we do not know whether they qualify to be teachers, because a board has sat and said this a child of this particular place fits to come and teach in that school, and yet the system of education says that for a teacher to be employed, they have to be a TSC employed. So one thing I support is that we need to relook at the TSC employment in this country. the teacher distribution, and I would wish to request the Committee on Education to actually provide to this House a list of all the teacher numbers in every school, student population in every school, because again, there is a policy on education that says that a teacher should be for every 40 learners. So if that is the case, in places where there is huge disparity, once the table is provided, then we can do fair distribution of these teachers. And number two, for those teachers who have not been employed and have and graduated in 2013, 2015, and all those years, they're about to retire before they get into employment. If that can also be considered, so that if there is any gap that needs to be filled, then those teachers who graduated much earlier be considered, so that they can be able to fill those gaps, and those schools that are in such places like my escarpment are able to get teachers, and the parents then don't have to go into their pockets. So I totally support the motion, the statement that has been brought by Honorable Bensouda, and we wish that the Committee on Education fast tracks this process and be able to give us the data, because if you look at those data and those disparities, we'll find that this part of the Constitution, the Article 10, is actually being is not being adhered to by the Ministry of Education and TSC more specifically, because when they hire teachers, they are not looking at those kind of disparities, and those disparities are going to affect even human dignity and all the aspects, because these students will sit one major exam called KPSEA.